Alright, we're finally free from the timeline. Only to go into basically the place that no Prinny should ever go. And that is to prove that this is technically my first attempt. And that is the first jump you have to do.
Oh, you have unlimited lives now?
Yes, I've always, every time you use a dimension, girl, you have unlimited lives because you're technically going back in time and space. But this counts as a separate dimension, I guess. So, well, I guess that's not exactly consistent. I guess it only counts because the dimensional girl is sending you there. Because yeah, if it's time, then she can just redo it. Redo your progress. But yeah, those were the first two challenges of this place. This is the Marshall Tower. The hardest normal stage
you have to be going
is.
up.
I mean, what I love about the Marshall Tower that I think the second game doesn't do as well in, I believe, is the background. That's just cool.
Yeah, I think so too. That's something I was immediately noticing.
And the winding stairs there really do portray the linear progression. This is a massive shortcut that I forget if I discovered by accident once, but I know I saw it in a video, but I think I accidentally came down here once myself. I don't know if I'm misattributing the stuff here, but yeah, I'm not showing a straight run. I'm leaving a few things in just to show how hard it is, but I am cutting. Because you're seeing, here you'll actually have to use those little platforming tricks that are used for extra speed in stages to actually just do what you need to do. So they're used for entirely progression. Like here, you can't get up here without using the enemies to bounce. That's like the most basic thing.
For some people, wouldn't be a fan of that, but that's why this is like the extra stuff.
Yes. You unlock this after getting, I believe, 70 Lucky Dolls. And at this point, I got every Lucky Doll, so not an issue. Of course, because this challenge is so hard, I make liberal use of the auto explode button. But, well, it's not a button, it's a command that you can put in. Because, like, say I was a little bit careless, or not even so much careless. Oh wait, I guess that fireball doesn't get to the end. But I wasn't going to risk coming back up here and like dealing with these three guys, for example. While I know I would get that CD, and then be like, oh, I only have 1 health, I'm sure I can do this. Like, I already know I'm losing a lot of lives here. And I'm gonna just say this now, because of something I decide to do in the boss fight, I don't get an S rank.
Oh, okay.
So this is not an S rank manifestation. I could indeed get one. I just feel like, with how much I've had to play this game, I don't exactly feel inclined to do it, because I think I did so when I was younger, after a long time. Oh, there it goes. There goes the thing. And something that I need to be also careful of is that hopefully this is not a full rendering issue and is actually something wrong with the footage itself. Because if it is a rendering issue, then that means that suddenly the footage skips ahead and our timing is completely ruined.
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, I'll have to go and figure that out.
Let's
Because my
just
job
react
can
to
never be
something.
easy.
You just respawned and the stage just started. There, that's a thingy.
I just what?
Respawned. I'm trying to add timing to our talk and the video.
Oh. Okay then. So, are you seeing this? I mean, of course you're seeing it, but like the fact that I hit pounded, for example, unleashed 2 zombie dolls, on the stage down there where there wouldn't be, and now we have the Terminator. I think that's its actual enemy name. Over here guarding the edge here with his lance. And the enemies can fall down there if you trigger them too quickly.
It seems like a mess. At the same time, since you're playing how you always play, the gameplay doesn't look too different, just the difficulty of the stage.
Yeah, but you can... I mean, the fact that I'm making consistent mistakes due to the split-second stuff that you have to deal with should quote you on just like how brutal this is. And yet, they somehow made... Okay, if I were to say something in terms of... Okay, this is the second time. If I were to say something in terms of the difficulty, it would be that this stage partially challenges you due to the enemies. And the other stage challenges you due to how they place the platforms. So, unfortunately, can't really do much about that. And yes, I noticed the skipping, don't worry about it. We're back to normal.
As normal as this stage can be.
Yeah, you know what, let's just say it's a free feature of the stage, meshing with dimensions and everything, and hopefully not something I have to go and fix. I will be checking.
It's funny, the auto-explode stuff, what's funny about it is you'll be going through a challenging section, get hit by something and fall, and does nothing, and then you just explode by just being on the ground.
Yeah, it's funny on that perspective. I mean, if anything, the auto-explode button makes sense for in-universe for this stage. For like stages where you're technically not losing lives. I imagine that making a Prinny auto explode in normal stages to help with progress is just torture.
Yeah.
But man, I probably am not going... I technically don't know which part of the settings is causing all the skipping. Because I'm recording this at 60 frames per second. I get that. But like, it's still a simple game. So, I'm not really sure what went wrong. I ain't a tech guy, so... Well, and I say this probably more so than the average American at this point. I am definitely not a tech guy.
Oh yeah, that's true, because the average American has an iPhone and they go to school and use a Chromebook, and so they just have no idea what's going on when you have to file transfer or something.
Oh, right. Forgot about that old fiasco. Okay, but yeah. I know I'll have to change that, but it's better to change organically in a lot of these cases anyways.
I'm seeing my sister. She's currently going through that thing, and she doesn't even have an iPhone. But just like even she probably is better equipped with like using. If you grow up and like all you do, like you can go on the internet and get everything you need. You could download Roblox and play Roblox online. rather than downloading, say, Pokemon Crystal and having to learn how to open the files and do the emulator thing and whatever. I'm assuming that's what kids did back when we were kids. But now, like, games are online, you can just download Fortnite and then everything's just there. Now you just have a quick play.
Oh, so that this thing is actually influencing kids' education thing has actually been made canon. I don't know why I said canon.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I mean, all I go for see is like Twitter posts, but yeah, it's a thing people are talking about. And it's not just kids, it's like adults. Because adults also have iPhones.
Interesting.
And I guess if you've used an iPhone for like the past 10 years, you probably don't remember how to search through the file manager, because I always have Androids, and so I'm always copying and pasting and moving things around and finding out where the games are installed. And if you want to get pictures off of WhatsApp, you have to find the WhatsApp folder, and if the WhatsApp folder moves, you have to find where it moves to and stuff like that.
Well, yes, but to be honest, I'm not the best at that either. It's just something I have to do.
Yeah.
So, I wonder how that stacks up, especially since I don't use my phone as much as you do, because my phones have always been historically crappy, except one time, and then that time the phone just decided, nah, I'm messing with the natural order, I'm gonna die for no reason.
Yeah.
Again, the type of unlucky garbage that I just deal with, especially with technology, it is annoying. I could recite...
The modern phone, like right now, I guess our other phones are unlucky, but right now the phone you have should be lasting you. It's not the highest end, so like 2 years. Because generally, people are using their phones for around 3 years. I think I'm on my second year of my phone. I'd want to upgrade, but I don't need to upgrade, especially since the camera's fine. So I'm just chilling.
Well, I mean, I hate how, like, phones I can maybe get, but they're just like, oh, you're gonna have to replace your laptop after 2-3 years. Like, what?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Well, I mean, because the thing is that, like, the phone specifically, man, I'm losing my thoughts here. Yeah, the phone stuff is just like, it's not just that it's easily replaceable. Oh, that was like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, so the phone, apart from being easily replaceable, easily in quotations, actually, there's a whole upgrade thing. Yeah, it's the upgrade thing that Apple does. Or other companies, I think. Maybe just Apple. I don't know. But the upgrade thing is also just something that's like, okay, I guess it's not the worst thing if the phone is, I don't like saying obsolete, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, in this case, I don't really know where things are gonna go, because usually when you actually go and do this kind of stuff, it gets worse. So, like, when you think about it, if trends continue, are we just going to live in a huge world? I don't know whether I specified huge, but are we going to live in a world where it's like, okay, no, it's actually 1 or 2 years to which your phone, you need to replace your phone? Oh wait, no. 1 or 2 years you need to replace your laptop, rather. Because I know in terms of like materials and long-lasting things, etc., there is some correlation, but I don't quite get the science behind it. Okay, that fireball was just
No,
high
well, I
enough to
mean,
get me.
they're like intentionally. A lot of these are intentionally made to not work after a while. But as
Oh,
in,
I'm aware of I'm aware of
the
that. I'm
thing is,
just
there's
wondering
only so
how is it
far
so
it can go
pervasive?
because phones. Like, that's what I'm thinking. That it's much easier to get a good old phone than a good old laptop. At least the layman. It's much easier for the layman to buy a used phone that will most likely still be very good as opposed to a used laptop. So just phones laptops having to be replaced every even 3 years. That's unacceptable. And it's good, like phones, you can find ways to buy cheaper phones. Like they're $600 phones, and you can probably get a 3-year-old $600 phone for like 200, 253, and that's doable. But like especially if you're playing video games, your laptop's going to be like 800 to 1200, and in a couple years that price is probably going to be like 6, and that's still just a lot of money to be having
Yeah.
to. And actually 6 is probably still extremely low. We'd probably still be like 7 or something. And
I
so
mean,
yeah, that's just ridiculous.
we live in a society of unsustainable systems. I'm just wondering how long until we reach the breaking
Well,
point of yeah, we can't do this anymore.
the thing is, the EU, like this has been my like short period of criticism of the EU, but seeing what the EU is doing to the phone space right now, it's like, you know what, I get it. I mean, in leftist politics, you do kind of get the whole government stepping in to curb corporations. That's kind of a thing that you just have to accept. Well, not fully accept, but generally in terms of progress in society. But it's like seeing it in practice, where yeah, they're forcing Apple to do USB Type C, and they're forcing phones to have removable batteries now because it's get to the point where it's not just about money, it's about e-waste, and we kind of have to be curbing the waste that a new phone every year is making. And so yeah, just good this is what I think the future of these companies are. It's just like they're just going to be forced to make their products better.
What I'm interested in, honestly, is the social change that's going to need to take first. Because I'm sure there will be a lot of people, surprisingly, that would be against this.
I mean, I doubt that there are a lot of
Well, that's why I said
brain
surprisingly.
people. Yeah, but I just don't think that's the case. I
Are
think
you seeing
there's
that, by the
people.
way?
Yeah, I'm seeing Shadow, who's also
This
as
is
upset as you are.
yeah. So this is the last stretch, and this jump has caused me so much grief.
Oh wow. But Apple, there are dedicated Apple people who are. I mean, you see the same thing with the Microsoft acquisition. You should not care unless you're a Microsoft investor, because all of the games they're gunning to buy the studios for, they're multi-platform already. It doesn't you as a Microsoft gamer wouldn't be affected by this acquisition. It probably affect you negatively because if they have so many studios, they're probably going to have less games so that release dates don't clash with each other. So but people are like, yeah, Microsoft, screw you, Sony. It's just, yeah, unrelatable.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are people like that, but I do think in terms of cell phones, the people are just tired of certain things, and outside of the people who, even if it's objectively good, hate government regulating anything. Those people are a lot. But the Apple heads, the Apple brained people, I don't think they will be so. I mean, it doesn't matter what they think. because the rest of us will just be like, yeah, this is great.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I guess it's not exactly showing up the point of human condition.
And it's funny.
I was there. Okay. I don't know why I'm cheering. I'm the one who recorded this. I was frames off from being killed at the very end.
Sometimes you forget. Oh, that's exactly not what I was saying. What's something that's interesting is that I'm now seeing Apple, Google, and Samsung aggressively advertise to me in terms of their new phones, and that's interesting because it's I don't know. I mean, overseas it's still Android land, but it almost feels like Apple is feeling the heat from Google entering the market, even though I'm sure their market share is tiny. But it's just like suddenly all of them really
Interesting
want
lore.
me to have a phone.
We're at the lore part.
Is this like Mr. Prinny or something? Like a legendary Prinny?
So this, it's been stated that that this Prinny ran off the day before, and it was referenced before actually, and it's revealed that he's the one who ate the dessert, and he's been here training. So you don't know who this is, but this is the protagonist of Disgaea 1.
Oh no, I'm aware of that.
Oh, right, I made you play Disgaea DS for a little bit. The thing is, in the semi-bad ending of Disgaea, they have him turn into a Prinny after he sacrifices himself to save one of his friends. He gets to be a Prinny because his mother was actually human, and only humans become Prinny. But because he's special, he has some of his features showing even as a Prinny. Hence the antennae.
Right.
Thing is, of course, he's still himself, his soul is still the same, so he's... And it's been stated before that he's been training here as well to try and get back his levels. Because he's definitely not as strong. That thing that he just sent down with his meteor attack, that used to be a special attack and it used to be an actual meteor.
Oh.
So yeah, much weaker. But still much like a very specific threat. That's also one of his special attacks.
So this game takes place in a bad ending universe?
It takes place in a fused universe, actually. Because in the bad ending universe, the person he sacrifices himself for goes entirely back to normal, I believe. But in the good ending, where he's about to sacrifice himself, but something else happens, she gets turned into a fallen angel, and so she's changed, but he's alive. So, actually, the anime follows this logic, where they fuse both endings. So if anything, this would count as the anime ending, because Etna also becomes Overlord in his absence, as he's a Prinny. And that's also in the anime.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a very interesting angle they go with here.
This is like the kind of timeline that people pretend Zelda has, or people pretend Zelda timeline is confusing. This seems like it actually be confusing.
Yeah, that is true. But something you might notice is that he is super hard, because he is fast and he is small. So stunning him requires just like an entire understanding of how he does things and what changes he can make in his moveset. So you'll see how many deaths it takes me. And part of the reason is that unlike every other boss that I've played this game for, I've never beaten him legitimately. Not because I felt it was impossible, but because there's a secret to beating him. Because he is part human, he is susceptible to all the weaknesses a normal Prinny is. His scarf is actually not the scarf that Edna gave us. It's his normal scarf that he always had back when he was alive. Which means he's susceptible to Prinny tripping, where their bodies are unstable, and so if they take too much damage in one bad way, which in games is manifested as lifting them and throwing them, they explode. So you can, if you remember that, you can actually use the barely used lift function in this game, throw him, and once he's stunned, and he instantly dies. But I realized, like, almost everyone does that. And because of that, I've never faced him legitimately, so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go challenge him and see what, just normally, and see what happens. And I feel that if I didn't do this, I actually did well enough on the stage that I could have gotten an S.
Yeah.
Because I think I stunned him on my first go-around. Because yeah, see, even 54, I lost 29 lives on the boss and 54 minutes on the entire thing. I think maybe I could have gotten an S if I just did that one thing where I stunned him on the first try and just threw him.
So wait, does like Edna know he's Lahar, or does anyone know he's just a Prinny?
No, Edna knows, and Flawn, the person he sacrificed himself for, also knows.
Right.
So, Lahar didn't really care for the Prinnies either, but now that he is one, he's like, screw this, what? Why would anyone stay with her?
Which doesn't make sense.
And the fact that Etna can just come here casually just proves how powerful she is.
Speaking of which, when we get back, you're gonna massage me so hard. Or maybe I could teach you some new tricks.
Yeah, I just let those lines speak for themselves.
Yes.
So this whole stupid thing is his fault?
I love how angry it actually sounds in that line reading.
Where before, dude?
But this implies that this Prinny was actually on board with all the stuff before, just slightly before Laharl dies.
Oh, so this guy's been alive.
He's been here for a
time.
while. At least that particular Prinny was. So yeah, Marshall Tower over, but that's not the end. There is something special I have to do that requires me going back there, but I won't show the journey, just the destination.